Joyride 1957, Chapter 13. The next few days went like a blur. James rolled down Highway 1 at the speed limit and did appreciate his star chief when he had to pass slow drivers or trucks. He was still a bit gun-shy after the moose incident, but kept on rolling. He stayed in motels in the evenings, had steak dinners at night, and reached Augusta, Georgia in a couple days. Found a Howard Johnson and got a room key with the number 7 on it. Instead of eating at the Howard Johnson, he decided to change things up and went to a fish house restaurant. He ordered a huge salmon fillet that he couldn't finish. Despite being full to the brim, he found a Dairy Queen and just had to have a strawberry sundae. To his own surprise, he ate the whole thing. A soft, warm rain began to fall as he parked in front of room 7 at the Howard Johnson. Took in his bag, tore off his white short-sleeved shirt and dark blue slacks, and collapsed on top of the bed. He was asleep within seconds. Within an hour, a tall blonde woman knocked softly on his door. She waited, but there was no answer. She tried the door and found it open. James was lying spread-eagled on the bed and snoring loudly. The light was still on, and she surveyed the room. His bag was also on the bed. She quietly opened it and began rummaging through it. James stopped breathing for a few seconds, and she was afraid he was not going to start up again. He twitched a little and then resumed breathing and snoring. All she found was a few crumpled clothes, a bunch of maps, and a bunch of notes. She looked at them for a while but couldn't make sense of them. She doubted he could either. She checked his wallet and his blue trousers, but other than a Texas driver's license and about $500 in cash and a couple of dusty rocks, she found nothing. She stared at him for a while. He was well-proportioned and ruggedly handsome. She knew he had been in the military from his dossier, but little else was there. He had been in World War II in the European theater, but all the details were sketchy. She knew he was looking for something on Oak Island, a treasure or something. But from what she found in his room, she knew he had no treasure, at least not yet. She stared again at the half-naked, good-looking man alone in the motel room with her and began to slowly turn the windmills of her mind. She soon felt herself becoming aroused. She reprimanded herself mentally, but it was no use. Passion was winning, and she soon realized she was helpless in its grasp. She had been dating a junior officer at the CIA for some months, but recently he broke it off. He said he loved her, but if he was to settle down, he wanted, well, a more petite woman. He had the gall to tell her that once she had children, her weight would spiral out of control. The words hurt, but she realized they might have some truth. The day after the breakup, she had at least a dozen calls asking her for a date. But this James case was on her desk that morning, and she realized it might be a stepping stone in her career. So she took the case and was off to Halifax that same day. She believed herself a very passionate woman with a plus-full figure and soft, smooth skin. She slowly put her hand on James' white t-shirt and slid it down his body. She lifted the edge of his shorts and stared at James' private parts. There was a little disappointment, but things were cute enough, and she sat back up and took off her suit coat, her white blouse, and her E-cup bra. Her huge breast swung free and rested on his abdomen. She then began massaging James where it mattered. To her surprise, his member gave her an appropriate response. James kept on breathing, but stopped his snoring. In about 5 minutes, she felt his hands on her breasts, and she began to kiss him all over. He responded in kind, and soon she was on top of him, getting the passionate ride of her and his life. The passion steamed up the windows, which were already wet from the increasing rain outside. After the new couple was fully satisfied, the two sweat-soaked lovers showered together. The passion returned, but as their passion overflowed again, the hot water suddenly turned ice cold, enhancing their ecstasy beyond any either had ever experienced. They fell into the bed in each other's arms, and both were instantly in dreamland.